So coming in last place, it's no big surprise, it is Jaws: The Revenge. Just the whole idea of the shark wanting revenge on the Brody family really makes no sense. Like, I really want to sit down with whoever made this movie, just think what was going through their heads. Like, what? The end battle was, like, terrible. Like, they literally just poked it, they made, like, some made-up device, and when they poked it, it just exploded, which really made no sense at all. The way the Brody son was killed was pretty disappointing. Like, you could barely even see it because it was so dark out. And I hate how it's set around Christmas time, because I usually like to watch these movies during the summer, and when they're singing Christmas music, it's really just annoying. But you at least think that if all this stuff was in the movie, it'd be so bad it's good, it'd just be like a guilty pleasure. But it's really not. Like, the second act and the end of the first act is just so boring. Like, nothing happens. All they do is talk about stuff that I really don't even care about. And one of the most surprising things in this movie for me is how Michael Caine's in it. Because when I think of Michael Caine, I just think of like some big budget Christopher Nolan movie, because he's literally in every single Christopher Nolan movie. But the fact that he's in Jaws: The Revenge, like, just, I find that extremely mind-blowing, like how he would actually sign on for this movie. It's kind of weird. I bet he regrets it, but yeah, it's always weird seeing it in this movie. But yeah, those were my thoughts on Jaws: The Revenge. It's a really bad movie, it's pretty boring, and yeah. So coming in third place is going to be the original Jaws. Just kidding. It's actually Jaws 3D. So yeah, I'll give the movie this. It is pretty entertaining. It's just one of those movies that is so bad it's good. I think the premise is really good, with just like the shark getting loose in SeaWorld and all that stuff. And I like the plot of them actually catching the shark, but then it dies, and then the mother shark comes and just like gets really angry. And the end battle, even though the effects were terrible, was actually pretty entertaining and pretty good. But this definitely is not a good movie. I mean, the effects are terrible. I mean, you can literally see this ship right here, like, disappearing. Like, you can't do that. Like, really? You know, personally for me, a lot of the characters in this movie are just kind of forgettable and not that memorable. So those are my thoughts on Jaws 3D. I mean, it's just like a guilty pleasure. I mean, it's definitely more rewatchable than Jaws: The Revenge, but at the end of the day, it's still a pretty bad movie. Alright, so coming in second place is going to be Jaws 2. A lot of people, I think, are split on this one. Some people think it's good, some people think it's bad, some people think it's boring. I mean, personally for me, I think it's actually pretty good. I think it's, out of all the sequels, this is definitely the best sequel. I really like the sailing aspect to it, because I'm into sailing, and it's just kind of cool to see that in a movie, and then just the whole idea of the shark attacking them and all that stuff. I really liked that, and it was just kind of cool to see them sail and all that stuff. And I also like how Chief Brody's in this movie, because it feels like an actual sequel, because like 3 didn't feel like a sequel, it just felt like its own movie, because none of the original characters were in it. 4, you at least had the mom, but it still kind of felt like its own movie, and it did not feel like it was connected to the first Jaws movie at all. I mean, I will admit, it does drag on some points, and that's a lot of complaints with the movie. It just kind of drags on, and there are some boring scenes. I mean, there's one every once in a while, but personally, I mean, I found the movie mostly entertaining, and I'd rather watch this one than Jaws 3D. And the shark also looks really realistic, and some of the special effects looked pretty good, like with like how the shark jumped and grabbed the helicopter and pulled it in. I mean, that all looks like really good. And also the ski boat scene too. I mean, that was a really good scene too. I mean, overall, it's a pretty good movie, and I enjoy rewatching it. But coming in first place, you all know what it is. It is the original Jaws. This movie is just honestly a masterpiece. It's a classic. Steven Spielberg did a really good job directing the movie. Oh shit. Hold on. Sorry, this is floating away. Anyway, Steven Spielberg did a really good job directing this movie. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, because I recently just binge-watched all these movies for my thoughts on them. And I was just blown away. Like, I was entertained the entire time. Hooper, Quint, and Brody are a great team. I love seeing them work together. And just all the scenes with them on the boat, like, I could watch that for like hours. Like, they're just so fun to see them interact with each other. And kind of similar to Jaws too. Like, I'm into like boats and sailing and all that stuff, so it's just fun to see them use boating terms and all that stuff. Not to mention all the things that went out wrong on set. This movie should have been a disaster, but Steven Spielberg made it a masterpiece. But yeah, that was my ranking of the Jaws movies. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.